Hey faces, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Bring them back. Anyways, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video. And if you are not new here, you really fucks with me, huh? Today we're doing a story time about why I don't know how to drive, and I am 34 years old going on 35, and my baby is right here knocking on the window. What, Papa? As you all know, I don't edit my story time, so just give me 1 second and let me see what this little dude wants. What, Papa? Hey, go get your brother a toy gun so he can play. Go get your brother a toy gun so he can play. But they're gonna play tag really fast. Let them play and then you'll play. I'm gonna have to get off real quick, you guys. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, the reason why I'm doing the story time I'm doing today is about why I don't know how to drive, and I'm 34 years old. I know you guys are like, what? Is she serious? First of all, she's 34 years old. Yeah. Yes. I'm 34 years old. I feel 10 times older than that. I feel like, I feel so old. I feel so much older than what I am. I know I don't look that old, but I feel so much older than what I am. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this story. I don't think this story is gonna be that long. You guys, I don't know if you all like my long story times or not. I have a couple story times that are about an hour long or 30 minutes or more long. I'm gonna try to stick to making my story times less than 30 minutes. If they are more than 30 minutes, then I apologize. If you all don't like that, I'm sorry, but sometimes I want to give a lot of detail into the story. But for the most part, I'm gonna try to keep them 30 minutes or shorter. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And I'm probably gonna film 2 story times. So if you see me in the same thing, it's because I filmed another story time right after this one. But yeah, the reason why I don't drive, first of all, we're gonna start like when I first started trying to drive. Okay, so I was 12 years old when my mom first took me to try to show me how to drive. And we lived in a little trailer home area that had a, if y'all live in Chattanooga, then y'all probably gonna know the spot that I'm talking about. We lived in this trailer home that had a baseball field on the other side. Actually, that movie, it's a number, 57. Is it 57? Let me look it up real fast. It's a movie that they did here in Chattanooga at our baseball field. And that baseball field, that baseball field sits across the street from where we lived at and where I learned how to drive. So let me see if I can remember. I can bring up the movie, bring up the name of the movie, tell y'all the name of the movie, get my words right. A baseball. Amala, bring me some tissue. My nose is running, you guys. Oh, 42. That's the name of it. My bad, you guys. The movie 42 is a baseball movie. I can't remember. I want to say Jackie Robinson, but I'm not sure. Don't remember the fucking movie. But the movie 42 was filmed at this baseball field that we lived across the street from. And so I was 12 years old. No, I was older than 12. We lived in that trailer home when I was like 14, 15. In between 13 and 15 is when we lived in this trailer home. And so I believe I was 14 when she was teaching me how to drive. And so like the very first time I get in this car, you guys, I'm so excited. I'm gonna learn how to drive. All my friends know how to drive. Like all my friends know how to drive. All my friends are drivers. Have been drivers since we were like 10. I bullshit you not. 10, 11. All my friends have been drivers. At this point, we have did some shit. And my friends are drivers, you guys. Like, we done been on I'm just gonna go out and go and say it. We done been on drug deals and everything, you guys. And I am 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? And all my friends are drivers. Mind you, I'm the oldest one, even though I look like the baby. I'm the oldest one, and I don't know how to drive. But like, you guys, when I tell you we used to do some shit. We used to do some shit. We used to get on drug deals, to do drug deals, like to go take the drugs to people. And we get the money from fucking NASA professors up on Signal Mountain. Signal Mountain, one time we went on a little drug run or whatnot, whatever. And the dude worked for NASA or whatnot, whatever. And he had a house up on Signal Mountain, and he was a crackhead. He was a baller crackhead though. Like, when I tell you this man was a baller, this man was a baller. One time, we were about 15 years old. Sorry about that, you guys. We was about 15 years old. Hold on, one tissue. Thank you, baby. We was about 15 years old, and I ain't gonna say no names, but yeah, she was like, hey, go do this run on the mind you, this hadn't been the first time we did this run or whatnot, whatever. Go up there, do the little run, whatnot, whatever, do you know, get the money, this, that. Mind you, we used to drink with the man too. We were underage, but yeah, that's another story time. But anyway, like, we were doing shit like that. My friends were damn near adults. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wanted to do stuff like, not do drug deals. I didn't want to do drug deals, but I wanted to know how to drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be able to do the things that my friends were doing and be a little bit more independent as well. So like, I wanted to learn how to drive, and as teenagers, every teenager wants to know how to drive. So I think I was in between. I keep wanting to say 12, but I wasn't 12. I was older than that. I think I was 14. So I'm 14 at the time, because that's when we lived at that trailer. I'm 14 at the time, and we get in the car. We had this nice little blue car. I want to say it was a Honda. It was like a little small car, whatnot, whatever. We get in the car, and my mom had already pulled out of the trailer home, and she pulls down to the street, so all I gotta do is go straight or whatnot, whatever. So like, I'm driving, y'all. Like, I'm good. I'm in the car. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm finna learn how to drive. I'm gonna be just like my friends, my hood rat friends. I'm gonna be just like them. I'm gonna be whipping, whatnot, whatever. So I'm in the car and I'm driving, y'all. And mind y'all, like, I'm just going down a straight road. Yeah, there's cars parked, cars here. There's a fence. There's a fence around the baseball field, though. There's a fence around the baseball field or whatnot, whatever. So there's parked cars here. There's a fence here, and it's just a straight street. It's not like a really big street. It's just a normal size street. Yeah. So it's just a normal size street or whatever. You know, like a little neighborhood street. You know, they're not wide as hell or nothing like that. There's cars sitting on the right hand side of me, and I'm just driving. I feel like I'm doing fine. And to think about it now, I was doing good. Like, I wasn't in danger of hurting nobody, hitting nobody, nothing like that. So I'm going down the street, whatnot, whatever. My mom's yelling at me, and she's like, Aquila, move over. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not. Mind you, I'm like 3 cars away from this parked car. I'm 3 cars away from this fucking parked car. 3 fucking cars away from this parked car, y'all. I'm nowhere near being able to hit this parked car. Nowhere near being able to hit this parked car, you guys. Nowhere near it. So I'm still going, and I'm like, I see you, Mama. I see you, Mama. I bullshit you not, you guys. I bullshit you not. As I'm going straight, I'm not even going fast. I'm going slow because I'm scared. I'm scared. So like, I'm not about to hit this car, y'all. I'm not about to hit this car. But I'm still going. I'm like, I see you, Mama. I see you, Mama. And I'm just, you know, feet on the pedal. Mind y'all, I'm doing them. I'm doing that. I'm not just going. I'm doing one of them little, you know, that shit when you scared. So I'm doing all that. Mind you, I'm more on the opposite side that I'm not supposed to be on, than closer to the cars. I don't know what got into my mother. I don't know what got into my fucking mother. But I bullshit you not. And she's going to tell, if she watches this, she's going to say something. She's going to be like, that's not how the story went. That's not what happened. But this is from my perspective. If she wants to do a story time from her perspective, she can do that. But this is from my perspective, okay? So I'm driving, doing that shit. And she literally out of nowhere takes the fucking wheel and yanks it. Like, yanks the fucking hell out of it. And like, when I tell y'all, I Like, my whole body went vroom. And like, I'm like 70 fucking pounds at that time. Y'all, I used to be small as hell. I'm gonna do a story time about how I've gained as much weight as I gained as well. But I'm like 70 fucking pounds at that point in time. And when I tell you, when she jerked the wheel, I yanked. We ran and hit the fucking fence. We ran into the goddamn fence. And when she did that, y'all, I was so pissed off. I was so fucking mad. I just jumped. She said, now come on, when we hit the fence, after we hit the fence, we were fine. It wasn't like we hit the fence hard, but the way she jerked it, I jerked. Like, my body jerked or whatever. But like, we hit the fence and she was like, come on, we'll straighten up or whatnot, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to even drive now. So I literally get out the car, slam the door, because I'm like, that was unfucking necessary what she did. I was nowhere near the car. Mind you, I yelled at her. I was yelling and I was like, I wasn't even gonna hit the car. I was nowhere near the car, mama. What, why would you do that? You know, like, I'm bad. And so I get out the car and I slam the door and I walk back to the house, because we're not even 2 houses away from our trailer. Like, our trailer, the trailer park sits here, and like, say this is where our trailer sits in the trailer park. It's like a hill and there's trailers that sit there, so it's an empty space here, but it's a house here, a house there, a house there. We were at the first house after the little yard in our trailer park area. We were at the first house. We hit the fence right in front of the first house. So y'all, I didn't get far. I did not get far. I didn't get far enough to even potentially think that I could hit a car, you know, or to be worried about hitting a car. And so when she did that, I was like, I don't want to fucking drive. Of course I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. Fuck that. I don't want to drive. I get out the car, I slam the door, and I walk back to our trailer. She gets in the car, she takes and drives the car back up to our trailer, whatever. That's the end of that. Because at that point, I don't want to drive. I don't want her teaching me to drive. I'm done. I'm fucking done at that point. And so time goes on. And at that point too, I ended up staying with my friends because we lived in that trailer, and we didn't. Honestly, I was embarrassed about living in the trailer and stuff. So I ended up spending more time with my friends that year than I ever spent with them. Like, y'all, I literally lived with her, my best friend at the time. I literally lived with her for a whole year, for a whole freaking year. And after that incident, that's around when I lived with her. And so, like, it wasn't and when I lived with her, that household was so busy. It was so busy. They wouldn't. I could have learned to drive there. I could have, but in all honesty, I was honestly scared too. And with that experience with my mother, it made it even more scarier. You see the kids? They're playing tag. They're playing laser tag. But yeah. So after that, it was like, I just don't want to do it anymore. And then I got to where I was 17 years old and I wanted to learn to drive again. And so, like, I'm talking to my mom. We didn't have a car, and like, we're trying to get, you know, we had a car, we're trying to get fixed because it was a fucked up car. It needed a new transmission or some shit. So my mom's like, well, when we get the car fixed, I'll teach you how to drive and this, that, and other. Then my friends are the same way. Well, we're gonna teach you how to drive and this and that. Then I ended up having this issue with my kidneys, and that's when I first found out that I have. You guys, I don't even know the name for the kidney disease that I have, and it's weird because, like, I could tell you what it was called, and then they kept telling me I didn't have that, and then it's like they'll tell me I got to be an adult, and they were like, you do have it. And then, y'all, my whole kidney journey has been a struggle in and of itself, let alone trying to learn how to drive. But that happened when I was 17 years old, and when I had that issue with my kidneys, I was on pain medicine, like strong ass pain medicine, like strong ass pain medicine. They had me on Vicodin at one point in time, but I didn't stay on that long. I think that was like at the beginning of my kidney journey when I had to have a laser surgery or whatever. So that was like at the beginning of that. But at that point in time, they had me on Tylenol. If y'all know what Tylenol 3s are, they had me on Tylenol 3s, hydrocodones, Percocets, and I had all 3 of those at one point in time, like at 17 years old. And with those medicines, you can't drive. And then it ended up getting so my kidneys issue with the kidney stones started getting so bad to the point that I was getting 6 and 7 kidney stones a month, passing 6 and 7 kidney stones a month, you guys, and that's another story time that I'm gonna tell. But yeah, I was passing 6 and 7 kidney stones it was horrible, y'all. It was horrible. I was constantly on pain medicine, and it was no way that I was gonna learn to drive. I wasn't gonna be able to do it. My doctors even said that in order for me to be able to drive, that something about they was gonna have to sign off for me being able to drive because of my health issues that I was having with my kidney stones and the fact that I was on pain medicine, like hard pain medicine or whatever. So they were like, my doctors was like, we're not gonna sign off on her learning how to drive right now. And I wasn't able to go to school, so that was another reason why I wasn't I couldn't get my license, because I couldn't go to school. And at the schools that I don't know how it works in other states, but in order for you to get your driver's license, your principal has to sign off on your permit. And there was no way I wasn't going to school. There was no way I was going to be able to drive because I didn't have a principal to sign off on my permit. So that's how it started off of me not being able to learn how to drive. At first was that issue with driving and my mom just blowing me and me being like, well, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore. And then my kidney issue came up when I decided that I wanted to try to learn again. My kidney issue popped up then, and we don't know if I had been having these issues because I've been a sickly kid all my life. I've always been sick. I've always had some issues, of had pain or had something wrong with me, and they don't know if some of my pain had been my kidneys being messed up, because it didn't get really bad until I turned 17. But they feel like some of the stuff that I was going through as a younger kid was the fact that I had this kidney disease that I can't even think of the freaking name of right now, which is great, because in all honesty, y'all, I kind of was just like, I said fuck it on my kidney health. At one point in time, I got so frustrated with it, I was like, I'm just not gonna do nothing. I just don't care. Fuck it. It is what it is. Like, I just didn't give a fuck. But I'm getting back to where I'm trying to get my shit together with my kidneys, because I haven't been taking care of myself like I should, but I'm getting back to where I should be taking care of myself. But yeah, so that's how, in between 14 and 17, and actually up until I was an adult, really that issue went on with me not being able to drive. I couldn't get a permit because of the pain medicine, because my doctors wouldn't go sign off on it because I was on pain medicine for a long time. And I was on pain medicine for a very long time with my kidneys, and I'm still off and on pain medicine for my kidneys with that issue or whatever. So yeah, that's one part of it. Then I ended up being diagnosed with paranoid. I said paranoid, what the fuck? I ended up being diagnosed with agoraphobia and panic attacks and a panic disorder. And so like I would have like legit panic attacks. Like I would freak the fuck out in the middle of nowhere. Like I could be fine and then I would freak the fuck out. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, and in the midst of that, like my doctors was like, no, we're gonna have to get your panic attacks in order now, in order for you to be able to drive. You can't have a panic attack and you're trying to learn how to drive. So that ended up happening, and then I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. And I didn't get diagnosed with agoraphobia until I got pregnant with my daughter. And the reason why I got diagnosed with agoraphobia if you don't know what agoraphobia is a fear of leaving your home. I had already had a panic disorder, so I would have panic attacks when I was out in public with people, or hell, I could have panic attacks when I was at home, but they were worse when I would be out in public. So being out driving and having to drive, a lot of people say you don't drive for yourself, you drive for other people. Like my doctors were really worried about that. So like my doctors literally weren't going to sign off for me driving. Like my doctors was like, no, she's not driving right now. We don't feel comfortable giving her that. We don't feel comfortable letting her drive. And there was nothing that I could do about it. Like my doctors wouldn't like, I went to college for a while. After I ended up getting my GED, I went to college for a while, and then my doctors were like, she has to stop going to school. I passed out in college one day, and it got, y'all, my health journey. Y'all just have to watch my health journey videos, because I'm going to get into all that too as well. But these are reasons why I never learned to drive. So yeah, my cousin Pat, dang, I can't turn the fucking camera around. My cousin Pat is a fool. Fuck, I can't turn the camera around. Damn it. I wish I could turn the camera around, y'all guys. I can't. Fuck, is he still there? Can y'all see him? Can y'all see him right there? Y'all see him right there? Right there. Acting a fool. At the door. He's a mess. But yeah. So like I had all that health stuff going on. Shoot. But yeah, I had all that health stuff going on, so that stuff prevented me from being able to. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna fix it. And y'all know I don't edit through my story times. If y'all think I should edit through my story times, let me know. Maybe I'll start doing it. But I don't like editing through my story times unless I'm putting pictures and stuff in it. I feel like it makes the story time more authentic and more real and more, you know. I don't know. Maybe y'all know what I'm saying. It won't stay. Okay, so yeah. So, is that here? Babe's supposed to be here and come pick me up. That's why I keep looking, because he knows I have to do these story times. So yeah, that ended up happening. And then when I went to college, I had those issues in college, and my kidneys got worse. My doctor said they got worse because of stress from, you know, wanting to do good in college. And so I ended up passing out and having those issues in college. And so my doctors actually stopped me from going to school. And then in the midst of stopping me from going to school, you know, all those other type of activities stopped. So I wasn't able to get my license with that. They weren't going to sign off of it. They weren't going to sign off on me going back to school. And so they weren't going to sign off on me learning how to drive. Getting my permit. So I could have learned to drive, but in all honesty, it was like, it was, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but like, you know how you lose motivation. It's like, damn, I can't do shit. You know what I'm saying? In all honesty, those were one of my most depressing moments in life altogether. But yeah, the doctors ended up not wanting to sign off for my stuff. And then I ended up working at a daycare. And in the midst of working at that daycare, I kept telling Mom, well, I'm gonna start paying to take classes or whatever. But the doctors still won't sign off. And then I got pregnant with a Mila. We ended up losing my uncle. In the midst of losing my uncle, I found out that I was pregnant with a Mila. And when I got pregnant with a Mila, that's when I got diagnosed with agoraphobia, because my pregnancy with the Mila was high risk because of my kidneys. And then we come to find out I had no, that was after y'all. What I was gonna say was after, but a good thing I didn't say it. So yeah, my kidneys ended up getting worse, and I ended up getting high risk with a Mila. I had hypertension and all that shit. I almost went into preeclampsia a couple of times being pregnant with her. And so like in the midst of being pregnant with her, I ended up kind of putting myself in a cocoon. Like being pregnant with her, like when I tell y'all, I only left the house to go to the doctor's office. And when I would go to the doctor's office, it seemed like every single time I would go to my doctor's office, I would leave the doctor's office in an ambulance. I'm not saying it right. No, some of y'all finna laugh at me. But every single time I would leave the doctor's office, I was leaving an ambulance going to the hospital because of preeclampsia, and them thinking that my organs are finna fail, me and my baby finna die. Mind you, Mila was born a day late, so I kept on having to go to the hospital, them thinking that she's gonna be born earlier, them having to take her. But every time I would go to the hospital, they would get my blood pressure down, they would get things back to normal, and they would let me go back home. But I bullshit you not, every time I went to my doctor's appointment, I left in an ambulance every single time. So in the midst of that happening, I ended up getting agoraphobia and being frightened, just scared to leave, just having panic attacks. I honestly became fearful of everything. Like that, I'm gonna do a story time about that, but that part of my life was so depressing. And in all honesty, I'm gonna do a story. I've talked about it in other story times about how I didn't want to have a Mile. I wanted to have an abortion. I got called selfish. I called all kinds of things, and like I still say that to this day. Nobody that called me selfish or said those things that they were saying to me knew what I was going through mentally, because I didn't put it out there. I put it out there like I was fine, but that was one of my darkest moments in life, was was being pregnant, and then after having her, like what's it called, the depression and stuff after you have your child, postpartum is a bitch. Postpartum is a whole bitch. And when I tell you, agoraphobia just kind of creeped up on me that I didn't even realize I had it until I got diagnosed with it. And I was like, what is agoraphobia? And the doctors are like, well, it's basically where anytime you leave your home, this is just a short version, it's more to it than that, but like basically whenever I leave my home, I would have panic attacks. My home was my safe place. What's wrong with my baby? Oh, the dog. Y'all, he's having some get cookie out of here. He's scared of the dog. But yeah, like agoraphobia, my form of agoraphobia was the fact that my home was my safe place, and I wanted to be at home, and I wouldn't leave my home. If I didn't have to leave my home, I wasn't leaving my home. My home is where I had to be and wanted to be. And if I left my home, I would have panic attacks. I would freak the fuck out. And you guys, I still have agoraphobia to this day, but it's getting a lot better. It's a lot better than what it. It's a lot better. 10 times better than what it used to be. 10 times better than what it used to be. But yeah, so that's when I was 25. I had Amala when I was 25. And then after I gave birth to her, we found out that I had fibroids. And I had a fibroid that was about this size. I do a story time about, I don't know. I'm not sure if I've done this story time or not, but I have talked about my fibroids. So I had a fibroid after Amala was 6 months, 6 months old. I found out I had a fibroid that was about that size, right? And so this fibroid caused me all kinds of pain. I already had issues with my kidney stones. When I tell you this fibroid like gave me hell, had caused me so much turmoil. If I'm saying that wrong, right, I don't know, but it is what it is, you guys. When I tell you that fibroid put me through hell, that fibroid grew from this size to this size in a matter of Mala being 6 months to 3 years old. And in the process, I was telling my doctor that I'm in pain, I'm hurting, I'm constantly in pain. My periods were so bad. It was like waterfall the minute I stood up. Every time I stood up, not like at the beginning of my periods, not like the first day of my period was like that, and then like 3 days later they would ease up. No, all 7, 14, 2 months. I had a period for 2 months at one point in time. And in all honesty, that shit just, I just didn't want to do nothing. Y'all, like, I had a period for 2 months at one point in time. And like having health issues like that, you lose motivation. You lose motivation, you guys. I wasn't even able to play with my kids. Like, I would be so tired that I would start to play with them and, you know, laugh and giggle and be running around the house with them, and then just be exhausted, about to pass out. Y'all, I've had over 40 blood transfusions. Yeah, I've had a lot. No, I'm probably exaggerating. I'm gonna say 50, not 50. I'm gonna say 30. I've had over 30 blood transfusions. It's probably over 40, but I don't want to be exaggerating. But a good 30 blood transfusions I've had. I know I've had that many. And when I tell you, like, that part of my health journey stopped me from doing a lot of things. Like I've said before, I used to model. I stopped modeling. A lot of people think I stopped modeling because I got custody of my nieces, and no, I stopped modeling because of the tumor that I had to have removed, which was my first major surgery when Mila was 3. I had just got custody of my nieces. I talk about that in my custody of my nieces story, where I had just got full custody of them February the 14th, and on May the 8th I had February, March, April, May. I had custody of the kids. I had custody of the kids a month before I had to have that freaking surgery, that major surgery to remove that grapefruit sized tumor. You guys, I know I'm trying to remember and make sure I remember stuff right, so when I do my other story times, you know, I don't contradict myself because I forgot something or I said something wrong. So yeah, it was like about a month after I got full custody of my nieces, I had to have that grapefruit sized tumor removed. And in all honesty, that whole chapter, like I said a second ago, that whole chapter in my life was just, I hate even thinking about it because it makes me sad. It makes me really sad because, like, I don't feel like I was a parent. I don't feel like I was a person that I wanted to be. And at that point in my life, like, I couldn't do nothing. I didn't want to do nothing. My kids wanted to, my kids wanted to do a lot of stuff. There's still stuff to this day that my kids haven't done that I'm like, why the fuck haven't I done that with my children? Which now, I am a year past my last major surgery. My doctors told me to give it time before I start, wilding out, which I'm about to start wilding out. Because after I had that last surgery, when I tell y'all I feel like a new person, I feel like I am a new person. Fuck that feeling like a new person. I am a completely different person. When I tell you I don't have tons of energy, you guys. I'm still very much sick. You can't really tell, but I'm still very much sick. But I feel so much better than what I did before. That's another reason that motivated me to make my YouTube channel, is because I feel so much better than what I did before, and there's so much more that I can do with my children. And I just want to have everything, and I just want to share everything. And before, if you follow me on my Facebook, then I share everything. I've always shared everything, y'all. I got so many videos and pictures and just issues and stuff that I've shared on my Facebook. I've shared the good and the bad, and I've always been that person to share the good and the bad. And you always had these people that are always like, oh well, I wouldn't put that on Facebook, that's family business, or that's your business, this, that. It's my business, and I put it out there. I put it out there for a reason. I want to put it out there. That's just me. I'm a transparent person. And in all honesty, for a long time, Facebook was all I had to talk to. I had a best friend, but I couldn't even really talk to her like I wanted to. But anyway, so the midst of all that going on, like, I didn't have motivation to do anything. Like, at that point, like, those 7 years that I stopped modeling, in that middle of those 7 years that I've stopped modeling, it's been 8 years now, which this year I'm modeling again. I have some stuff coming up that I'm so excited about. But those 7 years that I had stopped modeling, when I tell you modeling wasn't the only thing I stopped everything. The only thing that I was in that midst of time was a parent. I didn't care about doing anything else but making sure I raised good kids. That was it. I had my nieces, making sure that they were taken care of and that they were okay, that their mental and their physical was fine because of what they went through with their mother, trying to make sure that they were good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't give a fuck about nothing else, and driving wasn't something I cared about. We didn't even have a car anyway, so it was like, fuck it, we ain't got no car. It ain't no need for me to learn how to drive. I get cabs and on the bus. I get where we need to go. I get us where we need to go. I get shit done. If I gotta call somebody for a ride, I call somebody for a ride. So, like, it just wasn't, didn't even care if I drove or not at that point in time. It was just like, whatever, oh well. But a lot of the reasons why I'm 34 and don't know how to drive is because of my health issues. And so that's pretty much what my story, the reason why I'm coming with story time, is just basically, y'all, that's why. I've had so much shit going on with my health issues that I just didn't have motivation to. I was told I couldn't, then I didn't have the motivation to, and then I was told I could, and then I ended up getting sick again and was told I couldn't. And then now, here I am, 34 years old, and I'm ready, and ain't nobody gonna tell me I can't, because I'm going to, and it is what it is, and I'm gonna be a driver by October 23rd. I hope. I'm not gonna do that. We're manifesting good things. I am going to be a driver by October 23rd. Like, I have this whole van. This is my van, and I can't drive it. Y'all, I had 2 cars at one point in time. 2 cars at one point in time, and I don't drive. When me and my old man broke up, he sold my other car that he gave me. Yeah, y'all, he sold my car he gave me. But it needed to be fixed anyway, so. The other one that he's talking about getting me is so much more prettier, though. It's so cute. It's black. The other car was red. I don't like red at all. But the other car he got me was red. He had for me was red, and I didn't really like that one. This one that he's talking about now is black, and I kind of want to have it before I start driving, but it ain't no telling when he gonna get it, because it needs a couple fixings on it as well. So, like, yeah, I'm just gonna learn how to drive in this van. I'm excited. My face is itching, y'all. I'm sorry. I think it's because I put makeup on. I haven't worn makeup in a while. But yeah, that's basically why I'm 34 and I haven't drive. I've gone through so much stuff, and not to mention like other things that I've gone through in the midst of health issues that have been like, you know, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot. And this story time was all over the place. I know. Okay. That look like my old man. But yeah, this story time has been all over the place. But I mean, that's pretty much what my life was at that point in time. It was all over the place. It was everywhere. I would want to drive 1 minute, the next minute I wouldn't want to drive, the next minute I would want to drive, the next minute I wouldn't want to drive. And right now, the way I'm feeling right now is like, yeah, I could still go. I probably could go the rest of my life without learning how to drive. But in all honesty, I hate not having that independence. I'm 34 years old. I have a car. I have a whole van. And if I want to get up in the middle of the night and go over my own man's house, I can't get up in the middle of the night and go over my old man's house. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm at my old man's house and I'm ready to come home in the middle of the night, or my kids are flipping the fuck out in the middle of the night, I can't just get up and go. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 34 years old. I have a van. I have a car. I should be able to get up and go. And the fact that I can't get up and go makes me feel like a kid. And we're getting out of that. We're not a child. We're not that we're not sheltered Aquila anymore. We're not her. That's not us. We're not doing that. We're not keeping that cycle up. And I also don't want my kids to be like, oh, well, mama doesn't know how to drive. It'll be okay if I don't know how to drive. No, I want my babies to know, like, you're gonna experience life. You're gonna get things. You're gonna do things. You're gonna experience life. You're gonna have fun. You're not gonna follow in my footsteps. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna get out there and you're gonna do some shit. You're gonna have fun. It's gonna be exciting. I can't teach you to drive right now, but you're gonna learn, and we're gonna get to it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a ball. And like I was saying before, me learning how to drive, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a fucking ball. I'm gonna have fun making content for you all, learning how to drive. Like, this is gonna be an experience. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm shaking in my boots, you guys. I'm freaking shaking in my boots. But I need to do it. Like, it's not no more. Like, I have to get over that. It's not no more being scared. You have 5 children that look up to you on a daily basis, and you can't be scared for the rest of your life. You gotta get over it. You gotta get out there and you gotta do something. And the more scared I am, the less I'm gonna want to do it. But if I do it and I just do it, the less scared I'll be, and I'll completely stop being scared at some point. Y'all see me trying to pump myself up? I'm sitting here saying the words, but in my head I'm like, bitch, you ain't listening to yourself. But no, I'm going to drive. Like, I'm gonna start learning. The only reason why I haven't already started is because, in all honesty, my old man has got a one of those smart cars, like the little tiny little red or blue little smart cars. He has one of those, and I kind of want to start with that, but it's in the shop. And so yeah, but I really want to learn. I want to start learning with that, and I know he knows I want him to start learning with that. So like, yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting for, but we don't know when that car is going to get out the shop. And I don't want to be waiting forever, and it takes that car like 2 or 3 months to get out the shop. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just have to bite the bullet and start with the van. And also, you guys, I've been trying to drive the van. I drove my van up to my old man's shop, which is just up the street. And if people are like, well, why don't you have your mom teach you how to drive? My mom cannot teach me how to drive. Like, I've drove my van down the street, down to my house not too long ago. I tried to drive to the house, and my mom is yelling, screaming at me, yelling at me. And I'm like, Mama, why are you hollering? Like, what are you doing? Mind you, when we get here fine. I drive fine. Like, I drove good. Y'all, I know how to drive. Don't get me wrong. I know how to drive. My thing is, I'm scared. That's my thing. I know how to drive. I know how things go. I know what you are and aren't supposed to do. I know, like, I know pretty much how to drive. I've driven before. Y'all, I'm a great drunk driver. Which I'm not saying don't do. It's not safe to do. But I've driven before. Like, plenty of times I've driven before, but I'm scared, and that's my problem. Like, I need to get out that scared I need to get out that scared shit. But not too long ago when I was driving down the street and my mom was screaming at me, and I'm like, Mom, why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me? And she's trying to sit here and say I was doing such and such. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. Like, what are you talking about? I'm doing really good. We pull here and pull up in our yard, and she gets out the car or whatever, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Molly's in the back seat with me, and she said, Mama. I said, what, baby? She said, you did good. I said, I did. She said, yeah. She said, and you know I would tell you the truth. And I was like, yeah, you would tell me the truth, wouldn't you? She said, but you did really good. I don't know why Granny was hollering at you. And that's why I feel like another reason why I haven't really learned to drive, because a lot of times I don't feel like I have anybody to help me. But I know if I ask people to help me. But the main person that I thought was going to teach me was my mother. The main person I thought had to teach me was my mother, and she just would always scream and stuff. So it's like, I can't have her teach me, which she knows that. So she knows, like, hopefully if she watches this video, she doesn't think that I'm, being mean or anything, because I'm not. She knows that she doesn't have patience to teach somebody to drive. I drove up to my old man's house the other day. Not his old house, but his shop. Is this him? No. I drove up to his shop the other day, and when I drove up, I literally just drove up the street to his shop. When I got up the street to his shop, I turned into the shop, dropped the freaking gate. I turned into the gate, get in the gate. Before I can even get out the door, mind you, it's just right up the street. Before I can even get out the door, my mom's like, oh, I'm driving back. And I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to learn how to drive, and it's like, I honestly feel like she doesn't want me to have that independence sometimes. And I get, I'm her baby, and it's scary to teach your daughter. I don't know. I just feel like she has to be more open to, regardless of how she feels, she has to be more open to the fact that I need to learn how to drive. Like, I really need to learn how to drive. I honestly feel like she's scared if I gain that independence that, I'm going to be gone. I'm 34 years old, though. And another thing, people be always trying to judge you. You're 34 years old and you live with your mother. Yes, I do. I've had health issues my whole 34 years of my life. I have 5 children, 3 of them are my nieces. And I had a major surgery a month, not even a month after it hadn't been a month that I had my nieces, that I had a major surgery. And I wasn't able to walk for 6 weeks. I need my mother. Mind you, 3 of my children have mental disabilities themselves. There's no way I could take care of my children without my mother. There's no way I was going to be able to take care of myself without my mother. If y'all have seen my Facebook, there's videos of my mom taking care of me after me having surgery. There's no way I would be able to do this without my mom. No way I'll be able to do this without my mom. So, because I know there's going to be some people out here, it's mainly men, and I don't know what it is with you niggas, but y'all need to cut that shit out. Judging women because of certain situations, or living with their parents or whatnot, whatever. You have no idea that lifestyle. You have no idea what they have going on, what they do or do not have going on, to judge them. So before you judge somebody, how about you ask them, well, why do you still live with your mother? You know what I'm saying? So you can maybe understand the situation. And if they just don't have no reason, and they just choosing to live there just to live there and be, save up money or whatever, that's still good too. But some people are literally just live with their parents to use their parents because they're still getting treated like children. But that's not the case with me. I live with my mother because I need my mother, and my mother needs me. I take care of her too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But this is getting off the subject of learning how to drive. But yeah, basically that's why I don't know how to drive. Health issues, being scared. I'm hot, y'all. Health issues and being scared. Frankly, mostly being scared. Health issues too. Well, yeah, a bit of both. But yeah, that's that story time. Y'all, there's a van keep coming up and down the street. I don't know if it's my old man or not. I don't think it is. I just think it's a random van. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new here, thank you for clicking on this video. And if you're not new here, you really fucks with me, huh?